italiane, dove è finita la
Çok
cultura
özel
di
bir
vivere
şekilde
comunque non
öğreniyoruz.
c'è.
Ve bence bunu okuduğumuz zaman çok daha empati
La realtà è
kurmaya
che
açık oluyoruz.
Your Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Balint Juhász, the head of Krétakör's education program, the Free School. It might not seem evident to you why a performing arts group launches a democratic engagement program for teenagers. Artists are considered to be creative people. It's a privileged situation. We believe it is our core aim to use and offer creativity in our environment, not just in an artistic frame, but also in everyday situations that we face as citizens. For example, to offer the power of being on stage for those who do not receive attention as granted. We started the Free School program to enable youngsters to participate in public discourse. Let me present you 3 participants of our program, Miki, Agnesh, and Nora. They come from different geographical points. Their stories and their ideas are important for us and represent questions and challenges that we find important. Let's hear more from them.
I'm Miki. I live in Miskolc, a city with 250,000 people in northeast of Hungary. There are many people who are looking for a job, and more than 90% of the jobless people are Roma. Most of the Roma in Miskolc live in a neighborhood in the center of the city. The mayor of the city decided to move this minority out of the city. This is where my relatives lived. Yes, of course, they were also subject to eviction, and they were waiting for the authorities to come. The people who had to leave their homes could get 6,500 euros in exchange with one condition. They had to buy a house outside of Miskolc. Finally, nobody was paid, but many families were forced out of the city, including my relatives. I first heard about Krétakör from one of my teachers. He asked me to go to the first meeting. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went. I found out they were interested in our situation. Before Free School, I had a negative opinion about Roma, even though I am also Roma. Because some Roma people behaved ugly, and I didn't like that. But as I started to learn about this issue, I started to see that I was wrong. Because they probably do so because people like the mayor of the city would like to move them out of the society. We are people like anyone else, but we don't have the same rights.
I participated in 2 Krétakör projects. I got involved with the first one because I live in Mércurea, Romania, and Krétakör wanted to work with Hungarian students who live in Romania. Hungarians make almost 7% of the population. Being part of this minority defines a lot of things in my life. To be Hungarian in Romania, in many cases, means to be the involuntary tool of the Hungarian political powers and to be a falsely used reference point. For example, we just got a right to vote in the Hungarian elections, and of course, almost everyone voted for the party who made this possible. It also means to face the oppression within Romania, like not being able to hang the flag that resembles this minority in public without scandals. It means to be raised to hate Romanians and to be pressured to identify yourself in a somewhat fake binarity. In the first project, we were dealing with mostly personal stories that were connected to our backgrounds, our families, our schools, our ethnicities, and we rethink and redefine our relations to these topics in a performance. And the second project was an interactive educational program, and the goal was to gain knowledge on democracy and capitalism that influence all our lives, and to apply that information to analyze our situation and to discuss controversial matters, to try out different options to express ourselves. The two projects share the idea of activizing young people more than schools or any other communities that we belong to usually do. They created a continuity in my case, and I think I have the basis now to interpret many different aspects of my situation as a person of more than one minorities.
I'm Nora, and I'm from Budapest, and I would like to tell you how unlikely it is for young people of my age to find themselves in a situation where adults are paying attention to their individual thoughts and experiences. The projects I had with Krétakör helped me explore the situation of the youth as a marginalized group within the society. I think one of the missions of the free school is to help students gain knowledge from each other and from experts as well, but also to show them how they can be critical in a public sphere where everyone who's trying to gain power is using a simplifying language. NGOs like Krétakör can affect the tendencies in the society by giving space to minorities like the youth, because we can also develop our own narratives rather than choosing from the not too diverse political spectrum. During the fall break last year, I wanted to travel to Heidelberg, Germany, but I was unable to buy a train ticket for weeks because the railway companies and the police couldn't handle the amount of refugees at the train station in Budapest. As I was thinking about other possibilities, I became very worried as well, because it became truly personal for me how our government acts or speaks about the refugee crisis. And by closing our borders, they didn't seem to realize that it not only affects refugees, but Hungarian people as well. I think the main question for the continent, and especially for the member states right now, is choosing between integration and exclusion. Personally, I don't want to go back in time. I grew up with all the advantages of being an EU citizen, and I don't want to lose any of my rights or opportunities only because I was born in the periphery. Thank you for your attention.
Chiede un italiano dove è finita la cultura
Özel bir
di Sykora
şekilde
comunque non
öğreniyoruz.
sa.
Ve bence bunu okuduğumuz zaman çok daha empati kurmaya açık.